Hey everyone, welcome. Had a pretty extreme haircut the other day. It's what happens when you don't pay attention at the barbers and just sort of don't look at what they're doing. It's a life lesson. It's a real life lesson, but it'll grow back, so whatever. Gonna do a quick video on just my collection. I've had a few people asking about it. They sort of implied that they'd like to see it. So let's do it. It's all about the content, just creating content. Here we go. So I'm going to stop this and then start it up again. That is a fucking extreme haircut, isn't it? Jesus. I look like I play rugby league. All right, so here we go with the quick walkthrough of the collection. Let's go left to right, not chronologically, I think. So this is my favorite one. I think this is the best one I've made so far, but we'll see. The new ones, the next one's always the best. This is the Warhound Titan. The Subjugation of Quartus 50 is the narrative that I sort of came up with for that one. And I'm working on the whole Titan Legion. The Warhound here is called Bellerophon, or Billy Ruffian. You can see it's in there. The colour scheme is green, black with a red stripe, and the Reavers one will be green, Sons of Horus green, black with a white stripe. So each of the different class of Titan will have different colour schemes. So not sure what we'll do for the Warlord. I've got to save up the money and buy it first. This is with Sekitari hoplites here. And elements of just Skitari and auto reductor. So there's some pretty heavily kit bashed converted auto reductor models in there. Excuse the glass there. So that goes probably my favorite infantry size model. And then Priestess of the Auto Reductor. The banner there. The narrative is that their Forge World has been destroyed by the Imperium at the conclusion of the third Rangdan Xenocide. There we go, and that is the Subjugation of Quartus 50. Next we've got just some domes with my Alpha Legion army in them. I need to find a more permanent solution, obviously, which I'll sort of go into in more detail later. This is the first half of my Breacher squad. So I've done 5. I've got another 5 on the way that'll be done very soon, this week probably. This was the first squad I did of Mark V. These are all true scale, same as the Breachers, true scale Mark V. Yeah, that's the first squad that I did. Let's have a closer look before we go like this. There we go. Yeah, Sergeant with Power Fist and Power Dagger. I wanted to model that. I see it written everywhere. Yeah, I have no idea what the points cost is of this because the whole world got shut down. I had all of the books in my cart and I was probably a day away from ordering them, and then Forge World shut down for a couple of months. And here is a squad of Mark III, again all true scale. There's the Sergeant. I've given him a Power Fist and a Power Axe. I don't know how that is in the game, I just think it looks cool. There we go. The basing is all done with my rust paint. I'm actually in the process of making a video on that right now, actually. I've just come from out the back. Get this back on there somehow. There we go. And then we've got, I haven't based these guys yet, but that's the Scout, or the Recon Marines. These are all converted, kit bashed, true scale. They're not the Forge World ones, they're just made from kits. And then a Saboteur. Not sure if I'll use him, I've got no idea how they work. And then the Dreadnought, Love that dreadnought, it's really cool. I wouldn't mind getting another one, maybe one with some close combat weapons, but I've got no fucking idea how the game goes, so we'll see how we go. And then some of the terrain for the upcoming board that I'm building. You'll see more of that later. More terrain for the upcoming board. Yeah, that's that section. Next section is the Space Hulk. So I made this in 2018. This one. So I wanted grimdark Ultramarines. I wanted the poster boys to be how I see them. I mean, they're transhuman, gene-bred killers. They're not, they're not nice guys. They're not squeaky clean. And my ones certainly aren't. There's quite a bit of kit bashing and converting in there. Freehand banner. I'm really, really happy. The best section of it is this bit down here. You can hear my kids making some noise in the background. Yeah. There we go, fighting some Tyranids. My son is playing Minecraft. If any of you have a child that owns Minecraft, you'll understand the stories. Basically everything that comes out of his mouth is Minecraft related. Could be worse. All of these things, these disgusting looking things, are barnacles off the bottom of a boat that have been sprayed a flesh colour and washed with Reichland flesh shade and Caribou crimson and stuff. And same as down the bottom here. This was heavily inspired by Mike McVeigh's ones of the late 80s, early 90s. Obviously done in a more modern style. But I absolutely loved those old Mike McVeigh dioramas that he used to make. Yeah. And here we go, Space Wolves. Or Volker Fenrica as they should rightfully be called, because Space Wolves is a pretty fucking dumb name, I think. We'll start at the top. Yeah, this is the first big model that I ever built. The first big proper sized diorama. And I basically bought a Detolf and decided that just putting the army on shelves wasn't really interesting enough. So I decided to just build a diorama. In hindsight, I would have planned it a lot better, but I didn't. I wish I had, because it would have been a lot quicker and a lot easier. This is probably the most successful section at the bottom here, where the drop pod has crashed through a weakened section of hull, and they're charging out into sort of an undercroft area. The idea is that this is the wreck of the Tomioka, which is a Mechanicum explorator vessel that was lost in the Halo stars in the early, I think it's sort of a couple of thousand years after the heresy anyway. And yeah, it was my sort of narrative that I invented was that the route have gone to find whatever that explorer was looking for, which is called the God's Breath, whatever that means. I understand now that there's a book series about it. I didn't know that when I made this thing, because I was very new in the hobby. Anyway, here's the Imperial Knight. That is the first knight that I've built. I've built one since, and I love that kit. It's so good, that kit. I really enjoyed painting that, building that and painting that. Yeah, this is just a blown out thing. Again, this is all rust paint. This guy I really like this dude. I'm very happy with how that guy came out. And then it's the leader, Bjorn Stormwolf here, with his big cannon and his big bushy beard. Looks like a space Viking. And this guy, I'm very happy with that guy. And the freehand on that banner I'm pretty happy with. And there's my rune priest. Excuse the terrible footage. pretty happy with that guy. Yeah, lots of dreadnoughts, a couple of dreadnoughts hiding at the back there too. One there. And another dreadnought back there. But this Land Raider was bought just off Gumtree, so it was already glued together. This was, it took a lot of rescuing to get this thing going. There was glue all over it. Yeah, it was a nightmare. I also bought these Centurions from the same guy who seemed to sort of just, I don't know how he stuck everything together, but he was pretty terrible. I really, really like those models. I'm probably going to buy some more of those and do some conversion because they look really cool. There's another one. And the last one. Right, this is the first diorama from this year, which is A World Reclaimed. I called this one, and this is my Black Shields. This is sort of part of the narrative of the Black Shields that I'm creating. I'll go into more detail on that at a later date, but as far as the collection goes, yeah, there's 3 true scale Terminators here, a true scale Rhino or Predator tank with a dozer blade, the Forge World dozer blade there. I've done a tutorial on Instagram on how I've achieved that, but this piece was really just an experiment to see. I always put lights in my cases. There's a guy with a jump pack. I really was just experimenting with the sort of weathering and the natural overgrown sort of look of this. All the yeah, what you call it, the weeds and the natural reclamation of the building, because that's what I'm going to do for the next big project. And then we've got Alpha Legion here. We've got a squad, 10 headhunters, and we've got another 10 Mark III. That's the sergeant there with a power fist and power dagger. And then the Leviathan Dreadnought. That is just an awesome model. I could get 10 of those and pose them differently. They're just awesome. So there we've got 10 headhunters, 10 Mark IIIs, and in here we've also got 5 of these guys with the what are they, rotor cannons? I think they're rotor cannons. Apparently they're terrible in the game, but they look cool as hell, so I got them. All right, and then we've got a building, work in progress. That's an old drawing that I've been working on. And then this is my board for Advanced HeroQuest that I made with my son, just so that we can put it on the dining table and, you know, take it off and put it back in here, leave it all set up. This is, where are we? There's all the old orcs from HeroQuest. Let's just have a quick look at those dudes there. Let's see if we can zoom in on them. There we go, orcs. Goblins, Skaven, how good is Skaven? There's the greatest miniature ever made. I don't know about the paint job, but it's certainly the greatest miniature ever made. I don't know who made that. If anyone knows who made that, comment down below. You can look at this stuff on the Real Lead Fingers, is my other account for this, for the old hammer stuff. Yeah, I've made the tiles. Maybe I'll make a video on that if anyone wants to see it. I've made these tiles out of cork, and I've made them slightly bigger than the originals, just because they're 1 inch by 1 inch, or 25mm by 25mm, my ones, and the other ones are a little bit smaller. I find this is just easier, and it looks cool too. Yeah. Let's come over here, work boring stuff. And then this is my, I've made a little table for between the dungeons in HeroQuest, Advanced HeroQuest, so that my son and I can, have little, you know, he travels between the dungeons or has to sort of survive the thing there. This is, I've left the dice here because it's his turn next. We play every night. And this is Lava, the dwarf. This fucking dwarf. He's at toughness 12. He's almost impossible to kill. He's nearly immortal. This is his man-at-arms, the sergeant, sorry. I'm forgetting what he's called here. I think he's called Water God. My son names them. I'm not sure what the naming conventions are. I think it's just whatever pops into his head. This is War Death. Again, that's how he's gonna die. He's gonna die in war. These guys are really easy to kill. They're great. I'm just got my Chaos Warriors over here, and these guys have crossbows. They're not modelled, but they've got crossbows, and they're in cover, and they're just nailing these two little jerks here. War Death and I don't know what the other guy's called. I can't remember his name. And then we've also got my old school Chaos Dwarf is here. Yeah, this is so much fun playing this with my son. It's awesome. Yeah, and all these trees, they just so they come out and they go into different holes. You can't really see it on the camera, and you can't really see it that well even in real life, but there's little holes everywhere, so you can adjust them. And then just these rocks are just from the art store, and I just put them around to change it up a bit. And then I've got a little thing it's an aquarium thing. It was on special. Let's have a look here. And we go up here to Imperial Fists diorama. It's a pretty heavily converted Redemptor Dreadnought. That is just such an awesome kit. I know that it's not a good idea having your chest and head exposed in a Dreadnought. One headshot and it's all over for the old dude, but no, it just looks cool. It's a rule of cool, and yeah, I don't care. Yeah, really enjoy painting Imperial Fists, and really enjoy painting Primaris Marines, regardless of what you think of them in the lore or whatever. They are a lot of fun to paint. And we move over to a little diorama piece. I didn't really know what was happening with that, so this will be used as a, I use it as a backdrop. I use it as, it's going to go into this this gaming board that I'm making. So that's that. And then it moves nicely into my Alpha Legion diorama. This is probably my second favourite diorama after the big one, the big Titan diorama. Again, my first true scale transport there, just a true scale Rhino with a dozer blade, and then a Middle Eastern style building, kit bashed converted sniper there. These guys are all true scale. Yeah. Centurion, or I'm not sure. These guys are all stuck in. I won't use these in my Alpha Legion army because the scheme's slightly different. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with these dudes. And then we move into, that's the very first vehicle I painted. A little bit of freehand on the door there. Pretty terrible chipping though. My first vehicle that I chipped, and it was, yeah, just a bit all over the place. Chipping really there's an art to it, to getting it right, and this was just, oh wow, that looks cool, and just bashing it with a brush, and it was terrible. And then this thing is really hard to video, but this is the bridge, a bridge section of the Virum Tenebris, the Dark Truth, which is the Mechanicum Forge ship for my Titan Legion. There's a few more plans for more stuff with the Titan Legion in the future. And you can see here, that's the real Space Navigator. This is all behind glass. I don't want this stuff getting dusty, obviously. This is the captain, or the shipmaster, sorry, not the captain, he's the shipmaster. I need to turn the light on there. See if we can get the light on back there. No. Anyway, yeah. Some servitors, a Titan tech priest here that I bought with my Titan. Servitors, skulls. Yeah. And yeah, just some, you know, random shit. Oh, this is a kit-bashed repulsor and a Mark IV hermaphrodite World War I tank. It's from TACOM, 135 scale. And then there's he's fallen over. Oh no. Another kit-bashed condensed dreadnought, and that's been I've put different legs on him just to make him sit a bit higher. Yeah. So let's quick look around. This is the study. Studio, whatever you want to call it. And then some spare boxes and stuff up there.